Walking down the street, chickens blowing kisses. Never thought I'd end up 28 without a missus. Yet here we are, yeah, it's totally a thing. Making this movie about my life in quarantine. Started out hype, living life as a pirate. Then it got eclectic as time began to riot. Filmed life thoughts, what a terrible idea. Had a party over Zoom and got diarrhea. Ran out of toilet paper, life felt like forfeit. Turn on the news, an invasion of hornets. That's when it really truly started to unravel. I truly wish I could go motherfracking travel like toilet paper Jesus. Toilet paper Jesus. Toilet paper Jesus. Toilet paper Jesus. I wanna be a vagabond, maybe I'm a Cylon. I should have killed them hornets with a motherfucking mask on. Covered in ketchup, man, I think I messed up. Need a therapist that will help me fill my loving cup. No, not with beer, they really need to steer this conversation with myself a light year away from beer that need to poop and seize the sorry socks. It don't please us, holy fracking crap, is that toilet paper Jesus? Toilet paper Jesus. 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 Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 12? 12 of Lights, Thunder, Action. I'm Thomas Carter Rochester, a.k.a. Thor, son of Dale.
And I'm David Thompson, a.k.a. I'm not going to swim for a while. I'm going to go to the ocean for a little while. You know, just a bit, just to kind of...
Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the ocean, Jaws turns 45.
45.
It's so old that I wasn't even born yet.
Unreal. I mean, and honestly, spoilers for the later in the show. We're going to celebrate Jaws' 45th anniversary, but I really enjoyed it, and it looked better than I thought. Like, I've heard a lot of crap about how it looked, and I really enjoyed it. So,
what?
Yeah.
Who said that?
You know,
I have some sharks
haters on the internet.
Listen, the internet can suck its own butthole sometimes, which is exactly what the internet loves to do. Wow, man! People said were they talking about the shark itself?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I've seen. We'll get into it later.
What do you expect? It was the blood. We'll get into it later.
We'll get into it
later. We'll just wipe off our shoulders of that drama. David, how are you doing this week, bro?
I'm doing good. I just finished out school. I did I had 2 6-week classes. That was exciting. Finished that out, so I'm feeling good. Don't have that to deal with. I'm puppy sitting for my girlfriend's dog, so that's fun. I think they kind of run around me right now. Might snag one during the show at some point. So yeah, very fun. Doing great. Excited to talk about the news. Excited to talk about Jaws celebrating its 45th anniversary. How you doing, Thomas? You just came from somewhere.
I am good. I am tired. I've reached the limit of days in a row that I can work. May 17th was my last day off where I did nothing work related, and I'm pining for when that next day is. I'm hoping it's tomorrow, but my dad's still doing roof work, so I assume I'm doing that for Father's Day. But I just came from a protest here in Panama City. Inspirational. They were really good speakers. I met a singer who's new to the area, and she's like writing a script, and just kind of the universe delivered great things. It was a Black Lives Matter protest. Wow. It was fantastic. The speakers came, some of them were preachers, some were pastors, some were, just citizens. Someone who's running for one of the representatives was there. And then they were, focusing on, register to vote, do mail-in ballots. And then also one guy, broke down some very important information about what systemic racism is that I'm not even going to attempt to repeat, because it was in depth. It was educated on a level that, I've not actually heard before. I understand it because I grew up in this area and I've seen it with my own eyes, but, he broke it down, fees and fines pay for the police department. So you get fees and fines from being arrested. And so they're basically bringing in their own income that way. Just a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah. So it was really good. Yeah, it went well. Good
weather.
God, no, it's brutal weather. It is burning. It is a sauna. It felt like
it's hot here too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. I have worked so much. I need a day.
Yeah. Well, we're here to celebrate today. We got some fun news. We're gonna talk about AMC Snyder Cut. We got more coming on that. A lot of DC. DC has just been spoon feeding us lately. And then, of course, our big topic later today will be the Jaws 45th reunion. It was my first time watching the film today. So I'm excited to talk about that. First time, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually watched it with my parents, and they were both like not really remembering it. So it was kind of their first time too, even though they probably may have seen it like at least on before and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but sitting down, focusing, no distractions, and just watching it. Yeah, it was exciting. So tune in, stay tuned in for that later in the show.
Yes. Sorry. I was getting something ready that I totally forgot to get ready beforehand. Good. Copy and paste. Yes. There we go.
You ready to hop into our favorite segment?
Oh, yes. Sorry. I should be better at my job. We're going to jump right into our favorite segment of the week. What the news? What the news indeed.
All right, we're back with AMC. So we've been following the AMC kind of, the streamline of news that's coming out of them, from them going bankrupt and possibly getting bought by Amazon at one point. And now they have officially announced they are unveiling their plan to reopen. So I'm reading this off of Variety. They plan on reopening July 15th. So that is, coming up in just a few weeks. I think it's similar to when, I should have pulled it up, but similar to, I think, when, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting, Regal was supposed to be opening up. But anyway, so July AMC 15th, is now officially,
I think that's both of them.
Well, and it makes sense because Tenet is still supposed to come out July 31st. So that gives them a couple weeks to kind of maybe get a little warm. Inception is supposed to be re-released into theaters, I believe, around that same time of July 15th. So Mulan is now the first, because of Tenet's pushback that we talked about a little bit yesterday, or on last week's podcast. Mulan is now that first slot that's going to be actually coming into theaters of the week of July 24th. So that's kind of the biggest movie that'll be coming out in July right now, like the first one since theaters opening. It's curious to see. They said, this is coming from AMC CEO and president Adam Aaron. He said, "We didn't rush to reopen. There were some jurisdictions in some states, such as Georgia and Texas, that allowed people to reopen theaters in mid-May. We opted to remain closed so we could give the country time to get a better handle on coronavirus. We wanted to use this time to figure out how best to open and do so safely." Thomas, what were your first thoughts when you heard this news?
It's about damn time. And then my second thought was...
Said LeBron James, said Thomas.
My second thought was, I wonder if the ones around me will be opening.
It said select theaters. They didn't come out with specifics yet, but yeah, it's a good point. It said just select theaters. Also important to note, it said 30% occupancy, and then as well as the 30% occupancy, a bunch of other restrictions, as you can imagine. Social distancing will be enforced. Certain things, like not everything at the cashier will be available to, like, for food. It'll be all digital payments, I believe, or at least definitely not cash, but I think mostly even they want you to use your just through the app. And then something that actually initially, which is interesting, they were gonna only make their employees wear masks, and now they've kind of backtracked on that, and now they're coming out and saying that they didn't realize it was going to be such a controversial topic, and now they are requiring all like masks to be in the theater for anyone who comes into the building. Another quote from the company that says, "As we reopen theaters, we now will require all AMC guests nationwide wearing masks as they enter and enjoy movies at our theaters." Once again, we don't know which theaters exactly. Probably most. If they're making a nationwide thing, I can't imagine it'll be so much of a slow rollout. I think it'll be kind of nationwide. It did say that it would supply a mask for $1 to any customer who does not have one. If you if you don't have your own cloth mask.
$1?
$1.
Wow.
No dinero.
They're
not
okay.
They're not upcharging on that. I'm sure it's like a paper throwaway one. But yeah, so AMC's opening. We're gonna have movies back pretty soon. I mean, what's today? It's June 20th. Less than a month away, we'll have AMC back, which for us too, we are AMC A-list members, so that's exciting. Hopefully our AMC locations will be open.
I'm looking into that right now, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I'm because I want to know. Will you open? I want to know if you will open for me. I don't know why we just went Tarzan, but we did.
Yes, Kevin. Hi, how are you doing? We are all excited, I think, for AMC to open up. And I mean, 30% occupancy is interesting. Yeah, Brian from Reels and Heels said AMC, Regal, and Cinemark all announced their plans for sure. I think we discussed the other two before. Definitely Regal. I know Regal is doing a 50% theater occupancy. AMC's being a little more careful with 30%. So I took note of that when I saw that. That was something that really stuck out to me, that they were only going to do 30%. And to me, what's funny is that Aaron, the CEO, he was saying that, it was for solely like health reasons, not monetary reasons that they were remaining closed. And interesting. I mean, I think that was part of it, but I think also it's expensive to run a theater, and they're only profitable when they're getting a lot of people coming in. I've heard this news for years, how that theaters are dying, which I think is a bit of a sham, because it's not true. Once you get a big theater, I mean, they definitely weren't dying when Endgame came out.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you get a few blockbusters and they're back doing it. So, I mean, I think they know. I mean, they're definitely wrapping it or kind of lining it up for the big Tenet release. I mean, Mulan's coming out too, but that could still be pushed. They haven't pushed it yet, though. Big thing from Disney. They have not pushed Mulan back off that July 24th. They're right now going to be the first major film. Like once these major films theaters open, they'll be the first movie that's like coming to theaters that I think a lot of people might want to check out. 30% occupancy. I think just as someone who goes to a Walmart and there's a ton of people running around all over each other, and half of them not wearing masks, I think an AMC, just from like a risk standpoint, like going to an AMC where everyone's required to wear masks, 30% max occupancy in a theater, like I would feel pretty safe with all their social distancing and sanitizing. Like I feel pretty good, I think, with these AMC plans of going back to the theater, in July. Sorry, I've kind of taken over this entire topic, Thomas, if you wanted to chime in.
That's okay. I've been researching and I find nothing about theaters opening in my area.
Yeah. It's been kind of a slow rollout. I've seen a lot just in the Melbourne area here of just nothing too concrete, but just like, we're coming back soon. And this is good.
I mean, world. Yeah.
Exactly. But I think they do have to kind of weigh their options. They have to see if there really is like a audience for it right now. If people want to, huddle back in the theater. I do. Yeah. I'm ready. I mean, I'm amped. And what's sad about Tenet, I mean, I hope it does well in the box office, but Christopher Nolan has said over and over again how it is a theater movie. Like you were supposed to see it in the theater. That is the best way to enjoy the film and to really get the scope of everything. So I'm kind of surprised they're sticking with this early date, but I think he really wants it to come out like, early as possible. Yeah. And I mean, I can't wait to see it still, and I'm excited. Hopefully AMC, I'll be able to see it.
I'm here for it, but I don't know if I'll be able to see it when it comes out. The local theater, the last living theater in the county. I just checked their website and I get nothing. It just says we've decided to close on March 18th. Thanks for that. So helpful.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll be getting us information soon. I'm looking at you, Grand Theater.
Yeah.
Open
But hey, movie
open.
theaters are opening back up. Despite everything, you know, we are getting movies again. For us that, and you guys listening who love the theater experience, it's coming back. Like Brian said in the comments, Cinemark, Regal, AMC, they all have plans. So it's exciting to hear.
They re-released Empire in the UK. So Disney, I'm begging you here, release Rise of Skywalker. I want to take my dad to see it. That would be so dope if we could have gone on Father's Day.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. All right, moving on to our next piece of news. We have our first Snyder Cut footage. We
do.
Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, as it's been coined. We got our first clip.
Hey, do you want to just go ahead and play it?
Let's go ahead. Let's show everyone.
We have the technology.
Yeah.
Boom. Magic the Gathering.
The bell's already been rung. And they've heard it. But in the dark, among the stars, ding dong, the god is dead.
Fantastic. I think, I mean, I don't want to talk over that, but I maybe if everyone's seen it, but I mean, super cool hearing Jesse Eisenberg's voice back talking. It seemed like that was kind of a continuation of, I think it was, BVS for Superman, the post-credit scene of him in the bars with his, you know, his shaven head talking about, you know, they're coming and he's seeing these things. And it's almost very like, stay with me, but it's almost kind of like Tony Stark and how he always kind of sensed things were like coming and, you know, all that stuff in the MCU where he was always like, you know, there's always something greater out there and, you know, kind of paranoid about it.
Or Thanos.
Right. And now we see Apocalypse and we see Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman there.
Dark side.
What'd I say? Oh, Apocalypse. Sorry. Yeah. He's on Apocalypse.
He runs the Apocalypse.
Right.
But he needs to understand that we're canceling the apocalypse. Couldn't help it. Elba.
Yeah, so super cool. What were your thoughts on this? I had some, like,
I got goosebumps when I saw it on whatever day it released on. Was it Thor's Day?
I believe it was Thor's Day. Yep.
I got very excited. You sent it to me, and what you said was, "Holy." Self-censor.
Got it,
yeah. So I was like, ooh, and then I went straight to Momoa's Instagram page and listened to it in noise canceling headphones and was just like, oh.
Yeah. So first Jason Momoa put it on his Instagram, and then, you know, Zack Snyder tweeted it out. And, you know, what's funny is a lot of people were complaining, and I had the same issue. I guess I just watched it on Twitter. I think that looked a little better. That when it cut to, you know, Dark Side and that kind of, you know, us showing you know, the apocalypse and everything is like the quality was low, and I didn't know if that like it was almost like Jason Momoa like posted like some or Zack Snyder posted like a lower quality image, but I mean it doesn't really matter. I'm sure when it's all done it'll all look good, but
what a journalist nitpicking everything.
I mean, I don't know. I like to nitpick.
I think it's just because that's major effects.
Yeah.
And when you're watching it on like Twitter, that's when they struggle wicked freaking hard on the effects.
But I mean,
on the bit rate, I mean.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's compressed, and it's super cool, you know, seeing clearly two scenes that were not in the original. It's kind of cool to see that it's really going to be like its own movie. It feels like, just based on that. Like, I mean, the fact that I don't know how this movie's gonna go, but are we gonna get a dark side fight scene? Is that where we're going with this? Are we just gonna get, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember because I've read you know, when Snyder finally came out and told everyone what was going to be in his cut. Yeah. I do believe there was a dark side fight scene.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a 2-part movie to begin with, though. Or a 2-part kind of like set of Justice League films.
Story, yes.
Right. So maybe like at the end, it's just a kind of a tease of dark side. Can't wait. I think that was really cool. Wherever Wonder Woman was there, that like kind of cave-ish room thing with the what was like a portrait of Darkseid. That looked dope to me. I mean, just got me excited. And I love Jesse Eisenberg, just hearing his character back as Lex Luthor and those lines.
That location where Diana is first off, if you're listening to this podcast instead of watching, because you're not watching live, I just need everyone to know David is drinking on the job Bud Light Lime.
Nailed it. Snipe.
You put the lime in the Bud Light and then you drink.
It's Saturday, bro. We're celebrating. We're celebrating the 40th birthday of Jaws.
45th, and I don't have my beer, so I'm late. So back to the plot. When Diana is in that scene, that location, it reminds me of when Thor is in a location of Norse mythology and has got the runes and that. I think wherever she's at, she's in, I'm assuming, a sanctuary of Amazon.
Yeah.
So, like a sanctuary location of Amazon. They have ambassadors all throughout the world and doing different what is the word? Oh my God. Government. There we go. Holy crap. That was what I say. Governmental jobs around the world, and they act as ambassadors for the nation of Amazon. So whether that's happening here or not remains to be seen, but they would have locations for them to actually like bases. And I think that's where she's at, because it looked like that was Greek writing. I didn't analyze super duper hard. I analyzed just enough to be like, it looks like Greek writing.
So exciting stuff. I mean, they're really pumping it out to us, and that leads directly into our next bit of news. Is that we are getting the DC Fandome. We talked about this on the show before. It didn't have this cool name yet, though. We spoke on how there was going to be how San Diego Comic-Con was going to be online. That was coming in the end of July, and DC was going to do its own thing. And at that point, we only really knew DC was going to do its own thing in August. August 22nd is when that's happening. But now we officially have news that DC is doing its own DC's Fandome, is what they're calling it. And it's going to be a virtual kind of con, if you will, where it's basically going to show off a bunch of different clips and, tease a lot of different movies coming up. And before I hear your thoughts, Thomas, I have a full list of each movie that is confirmed to be at the Fandome. DC, man, DC is just trying to play catch up right now, and they're doing a good job because they are giving us what we want.
They're giving us breadcrumbs.
Yes,
and
a lot of breadcrumbs. Here's all the breadcrumbs. Wonder Woman 1984, which just got pushed back to I think
October 2nd.
Right, your birthday. Okay, day after your birthday. Cool. So Wonder Woman 1984, and then we have. Oh no! I just lost the list. Hold on, it's coming back. I might be able to do it off the back of my head. Justice League: The Snyder Cut. Sorry. Snyder Cut, of course. We've already seen a clip of Snyder Cut today. Thursday they I've released a little clip of that, so we're gonna get more of that. The Suicide Squad with James Gunn at the helm. We're gonna get a bit of that. And all these aren't confirmed. We're gonna see a scene or anything or a trailer. Just like we're going to see it at some point. Yeah, Suicide Squad trailer. I would imagine that's definitely going to be a thing because they are in post. It comes out basically a year from when this will be happening. So that'll be super rad to see. The Batman. We're going to get something on the Batman. I can't imagine we'll get much because they need to get back to filming soon. We don't have news on that today and what the news, but I know they are trying to get back to filming soon. And side note, can you imagine being Robert Pattinson and DC saying, oh, hey, we're going to stop filming, the pandemic and all. Can you stay in tip-top shape the entire time? So whenever we need you, you'll be there.
Have you read any of his interviews?
No, I saw
he's
something.
Straight stopped working out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because he's like, I just got to a point where I just stopped and I shouldn't have, but I'm keeping up with my diet. So there's that. I was like, hey,
right.
That's the hard part. That is the hard part, keeping up with the diet when you're not doing the same things every day. So.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him. To be in Batman shape, that's a whole nother level, and just having to sustain that for months and months and not knowing when he's going to be actually officially coming back to the role
without being able to go to a gym as well.
He's a celebrity. Maybe he could find like a private gym and all that, but still, like it's not easy. And I definitely don't pity him in these times, or I do pity him in these times. Next movie, Black Adam. We're gonna be seeing a tease. Well, yeah, true. I mean, he's gonna be Batman after all. But Black Adam, it's gonna be at the Fandome. The Rock has said he's going to be at DC Fandome, which is very exciting. The Rock is a hype builder for sure. He gets a lot of attention. All eyes are on him when he's there. So, I mean, super cool that that'll be there. I'm sure we won't get much. Obviously, they haven't started filming that movie. But we'll probably see something from there. I mean, they're probably going to try to really hype, all their collective DC films up. I don't even want to call it DCEU at this point because it's kind of all over the place. But
no, it's an
Black Adam,
extended universe. It fits. It's extended across time, space, and the multiverse. So with Black Adam, there's been loads of rumors. I think they're just gonna confirm these rumors. Is really what it's gonna come down to. Like there's it's got the Justice Society of America from the 40s, Dr. Fate, XYZ, and it's like I think it's just going to straight up confirm it. And who better to bring all these characters into the DC films than The Rock, right?
Yeah, for sure. Next film that they said, I mean, they're throwing everything at us, is The Flash. Apparently will make some sort of appearance in the Fandome. What that'll be, who knows? Maybe we just get a little more on the plot or what it's called. Maybe a name, official release date. Right now it's still planned for 2022. Don't forget it. I mean, me and Thomas have already speculated that this could be a huge film for DC if they want to kind of do a little like a light reboot of the DCEU and open up those kind of multiverse threads with a Flashpoint kind of storyline. So that's exciting.
They already opened it.
Ezra Miller apparently.
They already opened it.
I mean,
DC crossover of Crisis on Infinite Earth. That was hard to say. So it's
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, it is already a thing. Next film, I know you're excited for because you love the original Shazam 2.
Yeah,
this is very unsurprising. That I think Shazam will be there because we know Shazam was a pretty big. I mean, it was a good hit. Like people liked it. It was critically taken well. People enjoyed the film. So yeah, it'll be there. They're excited. I think all these different movie accounts kind of tweeted out that like DC Fandome, get excited. We'll all be there. This movie is supposed to come out in 2022 as well, November 2022. So they obviously haven't started filming or anything, but we'll probably get a little something, maybe a name if they're going to do a subtitle or just having who's the actor?
Zachary Levi.
Shoot. Yes, just having Zachary Levi there. Maybe just cracking a few jokes or saying something. I'm sure this will all be over Zoom or whatever they do, but definitely exciting stuff anyway. Yeah. Zoom or pre-recorded. So it'll be cool. I mean, I think Shazam 2, like we're all going to be sitting there at this point. It'll be August 22nd. We're going to be like, please give us more movie news.
So far away.
Yeah, for sure. Aquaman 2. I mean, really all there. I mean, I'm going down the list, but it's kind of all of their like new movies that they're saying that's going to come out, which is kind of awesome. They're not trying to hold any stops back. I mean,
and all their shows, every single show across every platform is there as well.
Wow. Yeah.
All the CW shows. Krypton got canceled. RIP. What a freaking bummer that was. The DC Universe shows, they're going to have Titans there. I think they even said they're going to have Doom Patrol. I don't remember if I saw Swamp Thing on there. But
that's supposed
now
to be
would be the time because they're going to be premiering. It probably will be there because they're going to have to promote the CW premiere of Swamp Thing this fall. So I'm assuming Swamp Thing will be there as well.
Yeah. Quick break. Brian saying Superman announcement and that he told us about this a couple weeks ago. I remember that, and I hope I hope whatever.
We're putting Brian on the hot seat.
Yeah.
It's in the written record, the annals of the Lights Thunder Action podcast history.
Yes.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Superman better be there. Yeah, I mean, I sure hope he is, and I me, I hope it's Henry Cavill, and I hope it's Man of Steel 2. I'm not sure if that's far-fetched at this point with the J.J. Abrams project potentially, but I don't know. And also, speaking of Aquaman 2, they might bring up the Trench spin-off movie that is apparently in development, which I don't really understand why that's in development. It seems
the
super
history
random.
of the trench, bro. Like, you don't want to know how these humans turned into crustaceans?
They're gonna call it The Trench, and it's gonna do well at the box office, and it's not Aquaman.
No. They're not gonna call it the trench. It's the trench spinoff.
Right.
It'd be like, it's like the Scorpion King is the Mummy spinoff.
Right. Okay. It just seems kind of random when we're not getting Man of Steel 2, but we're getting the Trench spinoff movie. I digress. That's it for the list of all the films.
You do digress. You are so salty, and I'll tell you why. It's because James Wan is like, I have this idea, and they're like, all right, take our money, and no one has like an idea for Man of Steel 2 except probably Zack Snyder, because he hired the guy, and they just got him back. Yeah, see, okay, Ryan, I'm telling you, man, I just want Superman versus The Rock, and if The Rock doesn't win, I'm revolting. Dude, I will riot.
Everyone would go see that film if it was like Superman versus Black Adam and it's The Rock and Henry Cavill. I mean, come on. Like, if you really want people to come into the box office.
Man of Steel 2, Black Adam's return.
So good. I mean, and we're getting Shazam, we're getting Black Adam in the next couple of years. I mean, there could be some real building to that kind of upper kind of echelon being, storytelling. It's still so all over the place, and we're still waiting on, Zack Snyder's cut to come out. So it's just DC. I love DC. I enjoy the characters, but I still can't wait for there to be kind of more of a through line story that I think like Zack Snyder kind of got got ripped away from him, unfortunately. And but anyway, excited for the Fandome. Moving on to our second to last bit of news. Jamie Foxx is officially now set. The rumor has been that he has been since 2014. It was originally announced that he might play Mike Tyson in a biopic about, Mike Tyson, the famous boxer.
Really?
And 2014. I did a little research. And he now officially said he is going to be playing Mike Tyson, and it's supposed to start filming soon. He was doing an Instagram live interview, and he was saying how, yes, it is supposed to be happening. And here's a quote. I'll go off on a quote. Doing biopics basically is a tough thing. Sometimes it takes 20 years to get it done, but we officially got the real ball rolling. I can't wait to show people what it is. To prepare for the role, this is outside of the quote. I'm reading this off of hypebeast.com. To prepare for the role, Fox must complete a vigorous workout comprised of 60 pull-ups, 60 dips, and 100 push-ups every day to push his weight to 216 pounds, and increase to 230 at filming. So he's obviously he's getting ready to be Mike Tyson. Tyson's a big dude, a big boxer. And I love the casting. I don't know about you, but I think the casting's super cool. I think it fits. Like, I could see Jamie Foxx being able to be Mike Tyson, and believably. Mike Tyson's such a character that I'm excited for this movie. What were your thoughts when you heard this news?
Everything you just said.
Oh, right.
I'm like, oh, Jamie Foxx as Mike Tyson. That's damn good casting right there. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's, when Will Smith was Ali, it fit. It fit. So, yeah, I'm excited. I don't really have much to say. I have a lot of jokes with the letter S in them, but it's okay.
It's surprising. I mean, I didn't know, that this has been in the works for maybe 6 years.
I read the article and I apparently missed that. So
yeah, so cool stuff. I mean, I'm happy they're doing it. I'm not even sure what studio's doing it, but anyway, super excited for it. I hope Jamie Foxx knocks it out of the park. That seems like a movie I would definitely go watch 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
all right.
To win.
Moving on to our final bit of what the news.
What the news?
Deborah Chow? Pardon me. Deborah Chow, who everyone knows now from her work on The Mandalorian. And I forget what episode she exactly directed. Maybe Thomas.
Episode 2. Nope, wrong. 1, 2, 3. Episode 4 and episode 6. No, 6, 5, 4. Which
maybe
4 and 5.
I don't know. You can look that up while I'm reading the article.
Yeah, my bad, man. I knew that. I knew it, and then I
didn't know because you've been up in the photo gallery or the Disney gallery, so I didn't know if you remembered.
It ended yesterday, bro.
Right. I have to catch up.
It's the best episode. Let me spoil something for you. They use people from the 501st Legion cosplayers, and so now those people who made their costumes have and own screen used costumes. Like, that is a cosplayer dream.
Yeah,
and they
no
had
doubt.
no idea until they got there, and they're like, "Oh my god, we're on the Mandalorian set."
Yeah,
and it's like,
that's awesome.
I would have
cried. Yeah, no doubt. So anyway, Deborah Chow. Sorry. Deborah Chow, she obviously known for the Mandalorian. She is apparently set to, it was announced that she's set to kind of head the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which is in the works. And Ian McGregor came out just the other day saying now he's so excited about playing the role again. So that's awesome. And she's ahead of that. So obviously the fine folks at Lucasfilm and Disney were impressed by her work with the Mandalorian, and now she'll be heading that. But also this rumor that we're talking about today is that she is apparently in talks for a future Marvel film. So Disney clearly loves her. I mean, they clearly think she's a great mind and that she could helm a Marvel film. So, I mean, it sounds good to me. She's definitely a great director. I can't remember exactly what films or what episodes she directed, but I'll definitely maybe have to go check those out again.
She directed Chapter 3, The Sin, which is full Mando warfare, spoiler alert at the end, and Chapter 7, The Reckoning, R.I.P. Queel.
Oh, that's sad. Well, she nailed that though. That was a really impactful scene.
I'm trying to look for any of her flicks.
Yeah, she's had a lot. I thought I saw some too, and now I can't find it.
The High Cost of Living. She also wrote that film, but for the most part, she does a lot of TV.
Right. So a movie would be a little different for her. Obviously, Mandalorian and Kenobi. There are
the possibility of Fireflies is her next film she's directing. Star Courtney Love, written by Dominique Paul.
Awesome.
It's been announced. That's it. That is up. That's her upcoming.
Yeah. So she's busy, and now Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige may be interested in casting her, or not casting, but hiring her as the director for a Phase 4, Phase 5 Marvel film. And Thomas, I know you were excited about this news. What were your initial thoughts? And then also, second part of that, what film, if you could pick, a upcoming Marvel project that hasn't been given a director yet, what Marvel project would that be that you would have Chow film or direct?
Damn, that's a good question.
What were your initial thoughts? Start with that.
My initial thoughts were, honestly, I was like, yeah, it's obvious.
Yeah,
because I've learned a lot about her from the Disney gallery. So that was just like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I mean, they should hire her. She would be good. Especially because episode 3, The Sin, was just fantastic. From Mandalorian, and Chapter 7, The Reckoning, is even more. Like it's the two. It's weird because those two episodes link up directly. That is when he goes. He leaves the Assassin's Guild, and then he goes back to the Assassin's Guild to take out the client. So then it's just kind of snowballs together. And also just insanely cool action sequences with the full Mando warfare at the end of episode 3. And then they have that lava. It's not a lava pit. They're in the lava fields, but the dragon attack. And then Baby Yeet fixes Carl Weathers' arm. Now, what film or project? That's such a good question. Potentially Miss Marvel.
Ooh, so the Disney Plus, right? It didn't say film necessarily. We could have
said project. So I think that would be, because you need someone with a unique perspective that can also do, what like she's proven herself in action. She loves action. She loves sci-fi.
I love that pick. That's good.
Yeah, so she can do all of that, but then she can bring the emotional weight that we need from Kamala Khan. So I think that's a good fit. I don't know, especially because with these Disney Plus shows from Marvel, it's in charge of the whole show. So Falcon and Winter Soldier has one director, right? And if I'm not mistaken, WandaVision has one director, Loki, one director. So
Kenobi will have one director. Mandalorian is kind of the first one that's just had directors all over the place. The other ones are
it's also just the first one.
Right. And yeah, exactly. And it seems like the other movies or shows are kind of taking a movie approach with the directors.
With the Mandalorian, Jon Favreau is involved, and it's him and Dave Filoni. So we know automatically that and he loves collaboration. And what he did is he brings the directors in, and they do a Marvel style creation for the season of Mandalorian. And they're going to keep doing that because he wants to have, and he says this in Mandalorian, the Disney Gallery, he wants people to watch. I'm sorry. He wants to have an overarching story, but every week you have like a different storytelling point of view, which brings in, why he wants the director to be different. And it allows them to collaborate, work together, but also, fit their own specific bits into the story that they want, which, Rick Famuyiwa wanted to bring in the unspoken ones, the Jawas, and then he dives deeper in on the crime syndicate side of things going on, which we really learned about the New Republic during that as well. With Kenobi has been long rumored to be a film, so having one director is also going to be conducive to sticking to a film.
So I have my pick for what I would like to see her direct, if you want to hear it.
I'm ready.
I mean, this is kind of obvious, but what about X-Men? I think X-Men are such
obvious.
Yeah. But I love it. The X-Men, they are like, because speaking of the, episodes she filmed or directed in Mandalorian 3 and 7, those were emotional and like high tempo kind of. There was a really good episodes, just bottom line, and emotional, and you felt something, and cool action scenes. And for the X-Men, I think thing with all the X-Men and the mutants in general is that there's an emotional kind of connection you want to make with them. How they're kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of not outlaws, but just kind of they're treated poorly, discriminated against.
They're on the fringe of society. They're outcasts.
Yeah, outcasts, not outlaws. Yes, thank you. They're outcasts, and I think she would nail that. I think she could do a really good job with the action. I think it would make it a personal story.
So you want it to be a movie, and I think a Disney Plus show.
Movie. Yeah, I want it to be a movie. Wow. X-Men sounds cool as a Disney Plus show, but I'm a movie guy in general, where like I just prefer movies in general than over like TV. You know what I mean?
That's why but the reason I asked that is because with Disney Plus, I would love to see the mutants introduced first, obviously in a movie, but for them to get their own project, I would love for it to be a Disney Plus show because you get to meet every character. You do each character the justice they deserve because you have the time. And then from there, you go to a movie, big boom box office event. Like,
I could see it working. Yeah, that's cool. I could see it working the opposite way too, where they have like some big X-Men film and then a spin-off, maybe younger X-Men Disney Plus show, which I think I would be totally for.
I think they would do, but I don't want that. That
they
seems
so many characters.
Exactly. That's the thing. They mutants alone have like, I want to say it's 250 plus characters.
Oh my gosh.
In the characters who are mutant genes.
Yeah.
So whether they already had rights to them, like Wanda and Pietro, or they don't have, which we're on Disney Plus Marvel. Like, I don't think we talked about Aaron. Not Aaron. What is his name?
Aaron Paul Johnson. Is that his name?
No. His name is Aaron too, isn't it? Both guys that played.
Quicksilver.
Their name's Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Is it Aaron Peters?
Help us out in the chat if you guys can.
Yeah, I'm Googling it.
While you Google Brian was saying that Fantastic Four, you're gonna blow our mind. Directed by Peyton Reed, who has directed Ant-Man, starring John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, John Cena, and Zac Efron. I love that casting. I haven't heard John Cena yet, but that's funny.
Really, I've heard that so many times.
Really, I've seen Zac Efron more, and obviously John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
I don't. It's funny. I only really see Krasinski doing it if he is directing it as well, but maybe not. I mean, he is still an actor, not just a director, but I feel like that could be a passion project for him. But I really want to see Krasinski and Emily Blunt as, Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm. I love that casting for sure.
And it's Evan Peters, who plays Quicksilver in the Fox universe. He's rumored to make an appearance in WandaVision. So
nice.
That.
There we go.
We never talked about it.
Before we move on to
we've now talked about it.
Yeah. Yes. Before we move on to our Jaws topic, we have both something to say. I forgot, Thomas. We were supposed to talk about our next kind of trilogy project we're working on at the top, and I completely forgot. But for all
son of a David.
Yeah, it's blanked to me. So, guys, everyone listening, watching, we are planning on doing, how we always do what the news, we do maybe some games, and we also have normally have a big topic at the end of our show, kind of the second half of our show. Today it's going to be Jaws. We're kind of talking on the 45th anniversary of Jaws. So what we want to start doing, and if you get with your guys' help, we want to start, recording. Oh, puppy's barking. Sorry. We want to start, not recording, but we want to start reviewing trilogies. And we're going to have polls up on our Facebook page. Let's Under Action Facebook page where everyone can go and vote. We're going to have it up this week of a trilogy you want us to tackle. And we do episode by episode until we do all 3 weeks. And we review each episode as our big topic, or, each movie as our big topic of that week. And then the third week, after reviewing the cap to the trilogy, we rank all 3. You guys, maybe we thought it'd be fun. You guys could go along with us, watch week to week maybe, or just tune in and listen to us talk about them and just kind of relive some of these great trilogies. I know right now we're talking about the Dark Knight trilogy, Back to the Future trilogy. I think those are the 2 that we're going to have up for polling this week.
Yes, those are the 2. We have the Back to the Future trilogy and the Dark Knight trilogy. Those are our 2 options that you can vote upon on our Facebook page. The poll should be going live around the time we end this show. I don't remember what time I set it for, so that's my bad.
Yeah. It'll be up.
We wanted to have 3, and we were going to call it our trilogy of trilogies, but Facebook won't let us pick more than 2 options on a poll, and I'm feeling a little boxed in, like Facebook's being a government, and it's only giving us 2 options who are allowed to debate and talk about what this country's going to do, and then it's poop, and then it's other poop. But I want a third piece of poop.
But anyway, we're going to have so much fun doing these trilogies.
Come on, Facebook. Give us our third poop.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes, and we're going to go ahead and take our first ever sponsor break. Words. This is actually going to be a fun break. You're going to enjoy part of this.
Hello, I'm Thor, son of Dale, and I'm here to tell you about Reels and Heels. Oh, brother, you gotta pump it up a little bit. Saturday, July 4th, Reels and Heels will be joined by the effervescent, enigmatic Professor. And of course, your main event is yours truly, the Lord of Thunder, Thor, son of Dale. Ooh, yeah. And we will be discussing WWE's Attitude Era. Baby! Your impressions suck ass, and that's the bottom line because Dale's son said so. It doesn't matter what you think. July 4th. Be there or meet me in the square. The circle.
And we're back. Man, I forgot what I was
fantastic
doing for a second. I totally just blacked out and took a nap. Yes, so I'll be on Reels and Heels in 2 weeks from today.
Wow, it's coming up.
It is. It's July 4th is like 2 weeks away. Speaking of July 4th, what is the weekend, trivia folks out there, that Jaws takes place during? Dun, 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 dun. David, answer.
4th of July weekend.
I don't. We did it. That was it. That was like the lamest trivia question ever.
Yeah, we nailed it though.
Oh, you nailed it. You nailed it. You got the answer right.
Yes.
So happy birthday, Jaws. Today, June 20th, 1975. That's before Star Wars. This was the first ever major blockbuster, is how they talk about it. It is the birth of modern cinema. Because it was, big summer film, made a lot of money, became a pop cultural zeitgeist type of moment in history. My mom sent me a message today and she's like, is that today? And I don't know why I made her sound 80. I'm so sorry, Mom. But she's like, is that today? I remember sitting in the second row and watching that. And like, I never gone to the beach the same again. And I'm like, no, you haven't.
Yeah.
What okay, so I wanted to ask you this all day. David, you've never seen it. What were your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it, like it was one of those where I've never seen it. I just never really, it was never on, I guess. I don't even remember ever watching any of it. Like watching it back, there was never even a moment where like, oh, I've seen this part before. Like maybe some photos, like the characters, Brody, Quint, Hooper. I've maybe seen some, some stills of them on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But really I didn't. And I love the way, just kind of, we're going to go deep dive into this movie a bit, just kind of like, we're just going to talk about it, whatever we want to talk about. So if you haven't seen it, or spoilers ahead, basically is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, bottom line. The beginning of the film, I think was really cool. Like how it starts off with an attack. Like it got us rolling into it. It was funny going into, or just at the beginning of watching it, I sat there and thought, oh, I wonder when this movie's based. Like almost thinking it was based in the past. I'm like, wait, it's just based when the movie was actually filmed. But it looked good. And just to touch on that, what I led the podcast with is that, I'd heard that like the shark looks bad in some parts and all this other stuff. And I really thought it looked good for the times. Like, I mean, you could tell it was a little dated, but some shots were beautiful. Just them on the boat, the beach looked nice. Like I was invested. It wasn't like it was like campy to me, where I think maybe other movies from those times could feel a little more campy. Like you could tell what you just said, how it was a blockbuster. It felt like that, and it was cool. The ending, I was surprised they didn't like get back and celebrate and stuff, but it kind of just like it just ended. But I enjoyed the ride. It was a good movie to watch. I was into it the whole time. It wasn't one of those where I'm like, oh, geez, I have to watch this. Like, no, I was enjoying it, and I'm glad we get to celebrate its 45th. That's crazy. 45 years the movie came out. So what are your thoughts? What's your like experience, your backstory with Jaws and when you watched it and all that stuff?
So as a child, I loved swimming. Like obsessively. We'd go swimming every weekend at a spring, and around 10, my swimming experience began to change because I saw Jaws. Let's see, that would have been 2000, around 2000.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 2005. No, it was 2000. Around the time of what would that have been? 25th anniversary? Yeah. Around the 25th anniversary, they put all the Jaws movies on like ABC, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Is the second one good? I'll take that as a no. It can't be as good.
It's definite. None of them are as good, and they get worse as they go along.
Yeah,
like Jaws 3D.
Yeah, I can't imagine that was any good at all.
For the Revenge. Let me summarize Jaws for the Revenge for you. The lion. I'm sorry. Excuse me. The shark roars like a lion.
Nice.
Doesn't sound like a lion, but it just roars.
Yeah.
They ain't got no vocal cords. I was like 10 when I saw that, and I was like, that's not scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
And I was very frustrating. Don't watch the second one.
watchable.
It's tied to the characters more.
Yeah.
Jaws 3D, I think, follows Mikey.
I saw that only Brody is in the second one. Is that true? Is Hooper in the second one at all?
No, it is.
Okay.
It's pretty much just Brody.
Okay. Yeah.
They have a
See,
new actor. It focuses on the family in that one.
Okay. I really liked
which is why that Jaws 2 is it's a good sequel for a Jaws movie, only in story alone.
But it's no Jaws.
It follows the family. It's no Jaws. It's definitely no Jaws. It's Jaws 2.
Right. It's Jaws as well. It's kind of there.
It is also Jaws. it's Jaws B. Oh, you know what? It's Jaws B plus. Maybe even a B minus. Jaws B. And then Jaws
B.
Jaws D. Just take out the 3. And then Jaws, let's not talk about it.
All right.
Because,
and then the Meg. Remember that movie came out a few years ago? Did you see that?
And I was like, why do I need to see this? I've seen Jaws. It won't be better than Jaws.
Yeah, but it's like a huge shark. It's like a whale-sized shark.
Okay. But
I mean, I'm not trying to just... I'm just saying. I don't care.
Also, he's a 25-footer. That's a small whale.
Yeah, no, it's a beast. I mean, let's go back to the movie. I mean, I really, I mean, no, it's okay. I mean, we're celebrating the film itself happening. Just talking first person watching it, I really enjoyed Quint and Hooper. I like Brody, Quint, and Hooper. Like I liked all those characters. You know, like the chief of police, and it's like this, and the dumb mayor, and I was like, oh my gosh, you could see that. Like, I mean,
right?
It's like, yeah, like, come on, guy. Just be smart. I mean, all these greedy people just focused on like not ruining their summer and all the money going away, like, you know, like losing out on money. But it's like, come on, like 2 people have died, and I mean, surprisingly emotional with the mother whose, you know, son died, and she was very sad and talked to Brody and said, she like confronted him saying how you knew that girl died from a shark attack and you still let everyone go in the water. Like, that was kind of killer. I felt, you know, I really enjoyed Brody. Rob Scheider, is that his? I think that's Roy
Scheider.
Yeah, Roy Scheider. You know, he was really good. I really liked Hooper, and Quint, but I really liked Hooper because we see him first. He was just a fun, like, nerdy character, and I just liked his kind of attitude and the way he, you know, his nerdiness towards sharks, and like he loves sharks, but he knew all about them. And then Quint, this guy who's just a straight shark killer, no nonsense. But we get that awesome story later in the movie in the boat where he's talking about all these hundreds of people died from shark attacks, and he made it out. So really good layered film, like where you cared about the characters. That's where I like movies, you know, like that's where I think some things lose me. It's when it was centralized. It had a pretty simple story. They're trying to kill this dumb shark that's eating these people in the water. Nothing crazy outlandish. Just like a really big, nasty shark. But we cared about the 3 main characters. You know, in the end of that boat, like when Quint dies, spoilers. Like we really care. And it was funny on HBO Max when I was watching it, it said it was PG. And I'm like, there's no way in today's world that's PG. But they changed those like criteria kind of recently, or, you know, obviously since 1975. But
it's still PG.
Yeah. Well, I don't think
only a little bit of blood.
There's a good amount of blood.
There's only a little bit of blood.
Think about today's PG. If that came out today, it would be PG-13 100%. They curse, like it's kind of violent.
Wait, they curse? I don't remember them cursing.
They say like SOB a bunch. That's not much. I'm just saying it would not be PG in today's world. There's no way. Everything's PG-13. Everything. Every Marvel movie, every Star Wars movie now. Like, I remember when Revenge of the Sith came out and it was PG-13. Everyone's like, oh, PG-13. But like, Empire would probably be PG-13 today, you know?
No.
What?
No. I think Empire still stays PG because it doesn't. Okay, the worst thing that happens is the guy loses his hand.
Right.
In Revenge of the Sith, the dude murdered children.
We don't see it.
Difference.
I mean, he also loses
I'm
like,
glad I
all his
didn't see
body
it. I'd have
parts.
been so upset.
Yeah, that would have been very
Master
upsetting.
Skywalker, what are we supposed to do? Die. Okay, back to Jaws. Here, I tried taking notes during it because I was watching it, and it had been a long time since I'd seen it. So once it came on, I was like, wow, man, this is good. The build-up's good.
Yeah. Getting to know the town a little bit.
Yeah, the way the story is told, Spielberg this is probably the only movies that really compete with it for Spielberg is Indiana Jones in terms of my favorite Spielberg flicks.
Yeah.
I love Jurassic Park, but it's not the same to me.
The score in this movie is so good. That cannot go without saying.
Freaking Williams, bro. Love him. He's the GOAT. The man, the myth, the legend. So speaking of the score, this film is nothing without the score.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. I've seen plenty of shark shows. So now I when I was a child, the water stuff scared the hell out of me because I was always in the water. But now as an adult who's watched plenty of Shark Week year after year, I'm like, oh man, I could watch all of this stuff and be completely content if there were no music, because music rips your emotions into the film. It adds the suspense. I loved the old school cinematography, how they had just really long physical shots of tracking along, just and the fact that all the equipment they were using back then is massive, like in terms of the actual size of it was just massive. So it's great to see that. And they also built tension with the movement of the camera. Like there's one scene when they finally realize that the shark's in the water before the boy, when the boy in the
when it like does that crazy zoom,
the anamorphic zoom, that was it's still probably one of my favorite shots. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the film that made that shot famous. I think that was one of the first times it was done. It was definitely the first time it was done to that level. Because right before, I think 2001 Space Odyssey would be like the next one that was like groundbreaking in terms of cinema and stuff right beforehand. Right. And it just didn't do the same things. And then after this was really Star Wars. Yeah. So,
Star Wars really pushed the envelope.
Oh, Star Wars took the envelope, set it on fire, and dropped a box in everyone's lap. That is a damn good analogy. Someone remember that. Politics haven't changed at all, or we're becoming closer to fiction. I don't know. I wasn't alive in the 70s, so I can't tell you whether politics were the same back then. My guess would be, idiots. The relationship with Brody and his wife is, without that relationship, this movie cannot work because we don't get to see that tender side of Brody.
Right.
And that's what made us care about him was, with him and his kid, and he's just like sitting there when he's copying him. Like that scene
that was good.
Makes you care so much more about Brody, about the wife, about the kid, and about the success of this mission. My favorite thing with their relationship is she brings him a drink, forces him to stop reading the book. I need a woman like this in my life because I work all the time. Clearly that's bad. And then they're sitting there talking and she just goes, "You want to get drunk and fool around?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do I, Lorraine Gray?" Yes, I do. And then just the subtext in all of their scenes, the nuances, the chemistry between them is the crux that makes us believe in this character. We already know he's a good guy. I mean, we can tell that from the beginning. He wants to shut it down immediately because there's a shark out there and we can't have people go in the water. That's logic. That's good. But when it brings to the pathos of the story, that's important. Look up the water movements. Oh, that was a note for me to do. I forgot. I wanted to look up. I've watched behind the scenes on this before, and I've watched documentaries on making Jaws because I was fascinated by the storytelling. We'll get into the behind the scenes bits on the shark itself in a little bit, but that stuff they did in the water, I do believe they had them hooked to machines and that would thrash them through the water the way they needed to be.
Oh, really?
Yes. So like that opening scene when she's like zooming around.
Yeah.
That is how. And then, oh man, there was something else that happened in the middle of the film, which was just phenomenal. But I don't remember how they did it off the top of my head. I love the dry wit of Brody. Like that makes him far more relatable. Richard Dreyfuss, who plays Hooper. Yes, thank you. Looks like TJ Miller in a couple of shots. Like whenever they shoot him from this angle, from up, he looks like him, and I'm like, oh my god. Like there's one scene where they're looking up at him and Brody, and I'm like, that looks exactly like TJ Miller, and it's scary.
Yeah, it's funny.
Now the mayor pushing people to get into the water is whack. Now, this is just personal issue. You don't have to get into the water to enjoy the beach. Granted, I was born after Jaws came out, so I don't know how it was beforehand, but I know that my mom made damn sure that I knew that I could hang out on the beach and also in the water.
Yeah.
So I'm just that was real nitpicky, really pissed me off. More than anything, he wants to open the thing for money. Sadly, I understand that, but forcing people to get into the water, man, that was the straw for me.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny in that scene where he gets those people, that family, to go in, then everyone just follows. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. They're like,
it's all good. It's all good. All right.
And then
shark in the pond.
See, and then oh my god, dude, that pond scene, I totally forgot about that. Like I was like, wait a minute. I was like, maybe it's in the because spoiler alert, in the second one it centers around Michael a little more because he's a teenager. Like he's like 17. So like in this movie, I think he's like 13 or 14 or something like that. And then in I saw this when I was young and I was like, oh, Michael's so cool. And I watched this and I'm like, he's like 4.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even notice his character, really, just like one of his kids.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't remember how. It's probably because I was young and I was looking for someone to connect to in the movie, which was obviously the oldest kid. But that scene where the Jaws goes into the pond is freaking insane, and that was the scene where I felt the most anxiety. Knowing what happens, I'm like, oh my god. And then what leads to it after, which is the breakdown of the mayor, and he's literally just the acting in this film.
It's good.
Is so good.
Yeah.
Like that's what started me writing my notes, was because I recognized in the middle of like the first 15 minutes, I was like, dude, I'm blown away by this acting. It's just so like, it's like, yeah, that's exactly how you act it. Like, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's like, but the effort.
He was still reluctant too, the mayor, and what you're talking about, like the sign and stuff. He was still like wanting to hold on.
Exactly. Yeah. And he was stuck in his ways, but also just phenomenal storytelling overall. But I think what we should talk about is the cinematography really quick. All of the stuff with the water and how they utilized POV of the shark to build the tension.
Yeah. I mean, you get that from the very beginning, and it's it's very obvious that all of a sudden we're getting the music and we're getting the kind of tilt to the water, and you wonder how they did. Like, they had some stuff in the pool, had some stuff actually filming out in sea. Like, you wonder how they did all that. Because I'd love to know the behind the scenes of it, because it was, for those times, things were pretty seamless. I mean, they did a lot very well.
You want to know a little bit about the behind the scenes? I think I'm leaning too far back when I do that. You want to know a little bit about behind the scenes?
Yeah.
The first person brought into the film is the guy who made the shark. They sent him a thing and asked him, hey, do you think that you'd be able to do this? As soon as I think was it Paramount? I'm gonna guess it's Paramount. As soon as they had got the rights for the book to make the film, they straight up were just like, "Hey, can you make this shark? Like, are you able to do that?" And he's like, "Oh, let me see." And so
Yeah,
they brought him on, and he did a model. He drew a shark. Then he started talking to folks who worked in, who were the Hoopers, and realized that he was doing it wrong. And then that's how he made a full-on mechanical shark.
yeah, and it didn't look that bad, man.
It did not look that bad. You know why they used it as little as they did?
Yeah,
Because it did not freaking work.
really?
On the first day they were supposed to use it, it just didn't work right.
Yeah.
And they named him Bruce, which, if you know Finding Nemo, I believe one of them is Bruce. And
yeah, no, Bruce is the big great white shark. Yeah, it's funny.
Fish are friends, not food. So yeah, dude, and it's fantastic how happy accidents happen, because in Jaws 2 and Jaws 3D and Jaws the Revenge, snore, they use the shark so much. You see it all the time, and it takes away any give a damn.
Yeah.
It is exhausting.
Yeah,
Brian says it's Universal, not Paramount. I was close.
Oh, okay, good. Well, it's funny that you say how it's used so not as like sparingly, because I noticed that. Like we didn't you don't see the shark for a while. When you finally do see it, it's almost kind of like anticlimactic. You just kind of see it in the water sideways for a second. That's like the first shot you get. I'm like, but it kept building kind of the tension a bit with like actually seeing like him. I mean, at the end when he's like going at the boat and he gets Quint and stuff. It's like, holy crap. What I thought was kind of funny was just how the shark seemed to just be attacking them. Almost like he wasn't trying to get away. He was trying to kill these guys. Like it wasn't that he was like hungry or whatever. He just almost had a personal vendetta. I got these guys that have been, shooting him with harpoons for the last 6 hours or whatever. But yeah, I really enjoy, like, I understood kind of the hype of it after, like, while watching it. Like, it's a well-made film. I mean, even with what you're saying with the cinematography, yeah, like it was shot pretty. I liked how it was. I like that kind of, I don't know what I'm looking for, is kind of that the feel of it, when like the look to it of how it was filmed, like kind of that old school look and those long shots. I remember one, I mean, it was, a small scene. I think it was on the beach. It was like Brody, Hooper, and maybe the mayor speaking to each other. And it was kind of a low shot. It was like looking up at them. And so you can kind of seeing them from right here. And like one walks away. Like I forget who walked away, but like it stays there and they keep all talking to each other. And then he comes back and it was like, nowadays there would be like a cut or something, or like there would be like, I liked even the sound mixing, where there was beginning of the movie, Brody's on the phone, and like they're talking in the background, the kid and his wife, and he like cut his hand or whatever at the very beginning, the little boy, and he's having this conversation on the phone, but you can hear their conversation in the background just as well. And it's kind of those you don't see much very often, like where it feels a little more natural, and you always have to like, your brain's a little confused for a second, like what, who to even like be honing in on, like in real life. But you have to, if you hone in on one or the other, you hear just one or the other. And nowadays I feel like filmmakers just do it for you and, make the background noise very subdued, which I think, I don't know. It was fun.
The extras are told on set to pantomime talking.
Yeah.
So, that's a thing. Speaking of the sound mixing, there's 3 or 4 scenes where just people are talking over each other that I found to be some of my favorite because of how so I listened with these headphones on last night. I was like, ooh, I was watching it on TV and I was like, it's just not loud enough. So I threw these on. I was like, I'm in the theater.
Right.
And that talk about, like, I watched the opening 10 minutes. And then when I put the headphones on, anxiety hit me so hard when the music hit. And I was like, oh God, I'm like there, dude. I'm so there. Holy crap. And so when they're all, so there's the mayor committee meeting scene, and they're all walking and talking all at the same time. And there's one lady's like, Brody, you need to talk to them. They're thinking crazy. They're thinking this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, she seems reasonable. And then you get to the end and it's like, oh no, she wants them to keep the beach open so she can make that money. And
yeah, right.
that's what you realize is happening. And it's interesting how it just, talked some sense into these guys. And Brody's like, I'm trying. Like, I'm trying, I'm trying to do what I can. And then you're like, oh, wow, everyone's against Brody here.
Yeah.
And then the Hooper,
So
Mayor, Brody scene and how they're talking back and forth and they're bickering and you can hear everyone else around them. And then as soon as someone gets loud, everyone
Hooper
else
was just,
looks, and then it's like, it just the realism of how that is. You don't
exactly
that in filmmaking anymore at all, which is sad,
Yeah, I know. I a movie I really like is The Social Network. Have you seen that? Yeah.
Yes.
Great movie and love it. Well, I love the cast, but and it's just the film itself is really good. Who directed that? I want to give them props.
I don't know.
Really, really good director. But anyway, there was a scene in there where sorry, I'm Googling. There was a scene in there. There's a scene in there at David Fincher. Sorry. David Fincher directed that. Great film. Anywho, at the very beginning, when Jesse Eisenberg's character, Mark Zuckerberg's in the bar with that girl, and it's like crazy loud. Like you have to almost. There's that scene, and then there's a later scene where it's like the background noise is like real. It feels real to a certain degree, and you have to kind of like be honed in to listen to hear what they're saying. It's like this loud bar that feels very natural. And then later with Justin Timberlake's character and Jesse Eisenberg, they're having a conversation in this nightclub, and it's insanely loud. The background noise is so loud, and it's stuff like that. David Fincher brought that back. He didn't have to do that. That was an artistic choice that he made, and I enjoyed it. It makes it. There's something to that, or it makes it not feel. It makes it feel a little more grounded, a little realer. It's really a word, more real. Not as much like movie magic and like glitz and glitter going on, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like not overdoing it, where it feels like that. I don't know. Really can connect to the characters in a way that you can't with other movies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which goes to show how important these things are. Cinematography, sound design. Like we kind of take them for granted. Even though I always say I'm like, if the characters are good, I'm in a film. But all these things add to that, that's the thing of filmmaking. All these things kind of like go hand in hand when a movie's really cooking. Yeah.
So the shark itself, it didn't work out, and so they used less of them. But when they did use them, it was fully mechanical, could open, can close. It had foam teeth, so I'm pretty sure when it bit him, like the foam would bend, and so he could be bitten and drug into the water.
Okay.
They used real shark footage from I forgot his first name. I want to say it's Robert and his wife. Their last name's Taylor.
Okay.
It's like in the end of the credits. It's like right one of the last things you see for the credits. I'm pretty sure he was actually the advisor for the film to get everything as right as they could. Who they called. And Brian is saying in our chat here that Hooper was changed so much in the film compared to the book. And if I'm not mistaken, from what I'm recalling from all the BTS, is they made Hooper more like Robert, the
advisor. You said, right?
Yeah, the advisor. The what is it? The shark expert. We're just gonna say that because I don't remember the actual scientific term of the ologist. The sharkologist. They wanted to make it more like. Oh wow, is that an echo?
You sound good to me.
Well, check. Weird. I don't know what just happened.
Well, you sound good to me, Thomas. So let us know in the comments if he sounds weird. Well, not if he sounds weird, but if you can't hear him, he sounds weird.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm like 10 times louder than I just was. Anyways, back to the plot. We'll fix this in post. They made Hooper a little bit more like the real scientist that they were talking with, so that it helped feed the exposition of the story as it went along, which is ends up being very important. Where was I going with this? Yes, the one scene where I noticed that the shark looked bad. Okay, so first off, there's a couple when you see the mouth. Because it is a mechanical situation, and it's wrapped in felt or whatever it was made out of. I don't recall what made the skin. That's when you can tell.
Yeah.
But there's a shot when they're looking down at it, and it's the head, and you can see the wrinkles in the felt. Yeah. Those are the only two times where I'm like, that that ain't the
noticeable.
best.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I noticed it when the mouth opened for sure. Like there was like, because I mean, come on, it's a shark. Like, but
we've seen enough Shark Week.
And it was almost kind of the character of the shark that made it help not having to be that realistic, because it was like this, they've been talking about it and it's killed a few people. And like once they found it, they knew it was it because it was so big. Oh my gosh, shout out to that scene where Hooper finds the tooth and that head pops out of nowhere.
I knew that was coming, and I still
jumped. Like I was like, oh my gosh. That was a really good jump scare. Like that's the way you do it. And you know, this movie, I don't know if they categorize it as horror, but it's not at all. Like it, I mean, there's
suspense,
suspense, drama. That's all good. I mean, it's pretty humorous. Like the Quint Hooper Brody like dynamic. Just I love Hooper. And this Quint being so like ignorant or just kind of like arrogant. I mean, about like that he can do everything and all this and all that, and like not listening to any of Hooper's ideas. Is more like scientific kind of ideas with the cage. And oh man, the last place I'd want to be in is in one of those cages going into that water, man. Holy crap.
You know, that was the scene that scared me the most growing up, was him actually in that shark cage. And I was like, dude, how do they get to that? I don't remember how they get to that scene. Because I was like, dude, what? I remember them putting on a barrel, then the 2 barrels, and then eventually I remember they had 3 barrels on them.
Yep.
And then I was like, but how do they get to the shark cage scene? Because they're going in, and I was like, huh, okay, this is it. There. And then it's like, oh right, yeah, I remember how this will happen now. Because I was like, man, like that is the scene where I was so most worried about.
Yeah.
And just phenomenal, dude.
It's funny.
That's where they use the real shark footage right there.
Gotcha.
Is right in that section of the shark swimming around. Because if you look at the proportions of the shark and how fat it is near his tail, of the mechanical one, it's a little bigger.
Okay.
Than in the one they use in the film. And then the one they got on film, I'm pretty sure is an 18-footer or maybe even a 20.
Yeah.
But it's in like 16 to 20 feet range.
Huge shark. Yeah.
Huge shark, and still small compared to the actual mythical
25-footer. Yeah.
Yep. And by the way, they get bigger every freaking movie. It's
not surprising.
Like, so annoying.
That's how movies go. Not gonna get smaller, but it was funny to me because I'm sitting there like, okay, this movie's wrapping up. I'm seeing like the time. I paused it to see how much time was left. Like, all right, I remember there's like 14 minutes left, and we're like, okay, where's the ending of the film?
Yeah.
And
I wanted to talk about this. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's so funny how, I mean, just the final moments. Okay, so we had Hooper in the water. He drops the thing because the shark's going nuts at him in there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd be anyone but him. Trying to think what happens immediately after, but some way, you know, the shark starts just destroying the boat. Quint's trying to kill it, and it attacks.
Oh, I see where you're at now. I was like, what do you mean? You said I don't know where they were at, and then I was like, I lost where I was at.
Oh yeah,
my bad. I got confused.
Yeah. So it's when Hooper's in the water. He's now like left the cage to go grab the thing. He's like hiding almost, and now we're back up to Quint, and you know how
and the shark jumps on the boat.
Yeah.
Which is, when I first saw that, I was like, that can't be realistic. And then they showed the stuff from South Africa in like the early 2000s. And I was like, holy bejesus, not only could they do that, they would destroy the boat.
Yeah. And
that's the amount of force that they have coming up for that. Oh, scary.
Yeah.
And then it breaks the boat in half. They start falling. Quint dies, RIP. Which was a great piece of acting with fake blood, you know?
Egregious. I mean, not egregious, but like gory, like freaking moment. I mean, just like, oh. Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's not that gory at all.
But it feels like it because
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not gory.
You hear it, he's yelling. Oh man, you feel bad because you don't want him. Like, I was like, oh, it's terrible. He's dying this way when he's been catching the scenes all his life.
Like that's the exact worst way that he would ever want to go out. And the acting in it is just God almighty.
Great acting. I mean, pulling my heartstrings. It was so sad. I really felt for him because he is this shark guy, this shark catcher, killer, and he goes down to it. But I mean, it was a great beast. But yeah, the way and then the way Brody gets him, he throws the pressurized air container can in his mouth and ends up shooting him. I'm wondering, I'm sitting there thinking, how do they kill it? Like, I was thinking Hooper was gonna get it in its mouth some way or the other. Like that was in some way that's how they were gonna do it ultimately. Like even if it was like not Hooper, like he tosses it up to Brody and he punch it and put it in. But no, it wasn't that. It was it was throwing the pressurized air can in his mouth and boop, shoot it, and I mean he just blows up.
Yeah,
super cool.
That is a Jaws trope right there of it, the explosion being egregious.
Oh, like that looks bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
between looks bad and the fact that they do like Jaws 3D, bro. Just think about it. I've watched it in 3D also. By the way. 3D. It is definitely a better movie in 3D.
That's good.
That. It is. Hey, it lived up to the hype of being 3D.
Yeah.
Terry says he would have loved to have seen Quint's character show up in the Nick Cage movie Indianapolis. Well, that would have been cool. I didn't watch that movie. So what were your thoughts on the fact that the credits lasted about 60 seconds to like 3 minutes at the end?
The credits? I mean,
like, did you watch all the way through the credits?
No.
Why would you?
I mean, I watched when it was still when like the movie was still playing and it was just like the names popping up and I didn't watch any of the black screen and text, if that's what you're asking.
It doesn't last very long at all, dude.
Okay, yeah.
It is super short. Like that scroll is the shortest scroll I've ever seen on a movie.
I saw the scroll. Maybe I did watch most of it. I wasn't really. I probably went on my phone if the movie was over. It was just like still playing. But so,
they have that scene and they run through like the cast and the credits and stuff. But like the overall credits is about 3 minutes, and it is. I'm gonna go back probably later today and watch the beginning again. But back then you had to have opening credits similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they did away with that so that they could put them all at the end. That's a Star Wars thing. That is George Lucas fighting the Writers Guild, the Directors Guild, and the Producers Guild for that reason, because he's like, I just want to get to the story.
That's so funny. That's so true. In the originals, there's no opening credits when all the movies around that always have opening credits. Yeah,
and that's why it helped change movies.
Wow. Yeah.
That was one thing that I noticed. I was like, wow, that was so short. And I was like, wow, 2 hours 4 minutes. I was like, I don't remember this being that short. It's not. It's exactly 2 hours and I think it's 2 hours and 2.5 minutes of actual
movie
flick. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it felt that way, so what were your thoughts? Like, what are your thoughts on this movie overall in the sense that, like, I don't know, like, are you a big Jaws fan? Like, we've never talked about. Okay. Yeah.
I love Jaws. This is the movie that got me in love with sharks.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, well, I want to learn all about sharks because they scare me. And I wanted to learn all about snakes when I was a kid because they scared me, but I'm just too scared to look at pictures of snakes. So I don't want to do that. But sharks, baby, I knew we had Shark Week, so we would record Shark Week, and I would watch that on the VHS because it was back in bootlegging tape days. So I love Shark Week, and I love learning about them, and I love. I mean, for a while, the only seafood I would eat would be shrimp and shark. I love the taste of shark. It is delicious. It is lean. It is premium grade A meat, man.
Wow. Red shark, I don't think. Sounds good.
Black tip is the best that of the types I've had. I haven't had nurse or nerf. I always forget how to pronounce that one. I've had a couple others, but black tip is the one that just in this area is the most flavorful. I've loved this movie since I was a kid. It changed my life. I couldn't go to the bathroom because I was worried a shark was going to jump out of the toilet.
Yeah.
Overactive imagination issues. I've had plenty of dreams where I fought off sharks. I've actually almost been attacked by a shark. Granted, I'm pretty sure that I ate him afterwards. So there's that.
Hey.
We caught a shark and it had a nick on its nose, and we released it because we're like, it's early in the day. We caught like 14 sharks that day. And then the rule is one shark per person or one shark per boat. So we were just fishing on the shore. So it was shark per person. So we kept throwing them back. And then at the end of the day, we caught one and he had a nick in his nose. And then we caught him again and he had a second nick in his nose. And I was like, hey, I definitely hit you with my knife when you tried to attack me. Cool. And then, it was a baby, but that was, and I was floating between our lines, which I didn't even know had been put out, or maybe we'd already had them back in, but I started drifting towards the people fishing to our left. And that's why I was near their shit. And I was like,
yeah. No, I mean, as a first person, like kind of closing thoughts for me, just as first time watcher, always knowing what Jaws is and the love behind it. And even like, there's a ride at Universal and, all these, it's a fundamental part of kind of like American pop culture. And, that's things that I have never seen it before because it is so like fundamental to just like pop culture and movies, and everyone knows Jaws, everyone. It's one of those where it's so well known, you almost don't even think about it watching it yourself because it's like, everyone knows Jaws is. But I'm glad I finally did watch it. We are here celebrating the 45th anniversary of it coming out in theaters. Super exciting stuff. Like, I think it's awesome that it is 45 years later and it still holds up. As someone who's never seen it, I'm 22. This movie, I mean, like it's double my age is this movie. And put it that way. And I still enjoyed it, like it was still a fun movie, good characters. That's what I always look for. Like if the characters hadn't been there, the acting hadn't been there, but it was there and it was a good flick. I mean, sharks aren't I'm not crazy obsessed with sharks or anything. They're cool for sure. They're cool animals. I'm more of what's funny is the boat was named Orca, and killer whales, orcas are like my favorite like animal. Or really? One of them. Yeah, no, I love them. I think they're just super cool. I just think they're like pretty and kind of like subtly extremely dangerous, more than sharks in a way, where like they're like killer whales. I think people think of them as being like nice and like Shamu and all that, but like they're really these killers and they run in. Yeah, forget SeaWorld. But anyway, and they're just such cool animals. But yeah, sharks are cool too, of course. And like this movie, but really enjoyed it. Thought the acting was great. Like it was fun to watch my parents. We all enjoyed it. I mean, 2-hour flick. Like you said, it was like 2 hours. In fact, this dog biting my ankle. Really enjoyable. I'm glad we watched it for the podcast. So yeah, those are my kind of final thoughts.
Yeah, I love this movie and it makes me excited. I'm starting to think that we should go through pop culture movies that one of us hasn't seen that are like big deals and watch it for the first time. I know there's a lot that I've not seen.
Pop culture movies? Okay.
This, if you've not seen Godfather, I've never seen.
Yeah, I haven't.
Odyssey. You haven't seen The Godfather?
Nope. That's one. That's like one big one that I've never seen that everyone's like, I have to see.
Well, that's getting added to next week's trilogy vote or the next trilogy vote. Because
we'll throw it into the next one.
We'll throw it into
first things first, we gotta start our trilogy.
Yeah, but for breather episodes. But like I've never seen 2001 Space Odyssey. I've never seen
I haven't either.
Encounters of the Third Kind. Like there are big movies out there that I've not seen.
Indiana Jones is something that I've like maybe seen but don't like really remember. If I watched it again, it would be like first time stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember it all. Really quick before we go on, Brian says that there's a show on Netflix that talks about different scenes from films where they attempt certain scenes, including the end of Jaws blowing up, the shark, Die Hard swinging from the roof into the window with a water hose. Brian, what is the name of that show? And then Terry, Jaws is the movie that had most of the world terrified going into the water. Big facts. My mother stopped going into the water for 3 years, she said.
Oh, wow.
He also said that when they went to Florida, he was 6. But in SeaWorld, they went through the shark glass tube thing, and one shark followed his dad the whole way. Very unnerving.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Brian says that Backdraft is the name of that show. Oh, okay. Have you seen The Room, David?
No, I've not seen The Room. Nope.
You're tearing me apart, David. Oh man, that's really.
No, I've never seen The Room.
We might have to. I might just have to like force you to watch that, and then watch Disaster Artist after that, and it's like, whoa. Yeah. So we, if you have, question time. We don't have any questions.
We basically were just doing it. I just threw it up there just because that was kind of what we were just doing. Just
going. You have a question, David?
I don't have any questions. I have a question and not a question, but a request from everyone watching right now. Please, click on the link in the comments. Go to our poll that is now available for next week's show. We want to start, ranking and reviewing trilogies, specifically like movies that are, in threes. Back to the Future, parts 1 through 3, the Dark Knight trilogy, maybe some others. Send us your suggestions on trilogies you'd like to see us go by. Next week, we will start the first episode of whatever movie you guys decide, whether that be Dark Knight trilogy or Batman Begins or Back to the Future 1. And let's let us know if you guys have any other suggestions, because we're open. Obviously, there's a lot of movies you still want to talk about, a lot of movies you still want to see, but go vote, have your voice heard, and choose. And please join us next week for reviewing whatever movie you guys decide.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, that kind of what are you going to promote this week?
Yeah,
you stole my promotion. I don't. What do I have? Reels and Heels, July 4th. I'm gonna be on that. Actually, for those of you that have been watching, if you don't follow me on the social medias, Toilet Paper Jesus, the song that you heard at the beginning, the short film that was created before the song. Did I say that in proper order? Yes.
Yeah.
Won Best Film at the Quarantine Chronicles. I was astonished.
Clap it up in the chat.
I was very honored to have won that. I watched all the other films and they were fantastic. The one that got runner up, when they announced it was runner up, I was like, well, I was thinking that's the best one. And for me, it was a zombie apocalypse vibe. And I was like, oh man, they did that so good. They had great effects. And then they announced me as my film as the winner. And I was like, what?
Nailed it.
And then I missed everything they said after that, because I just kept yelling obscenities like, holy shit, what the heck? Are you kidding me? Is this real? What just happened? Did I black out?
Yeah.
So David,
awesome.
Thank you, man. I was very astonished and surprised. David, where can everyone find you on the social medias?
So you guys can find me at my name, David Thompson, on Facebook, David J. Thompson on TikTok and Instagram, and then David Thompson with 2 A's in the David on Twitter. Thomas, what about you?
You can find me at Thomas Carter Rochester -actor on Facebook, at Thomas Carter Rochester, all one word, no hyphens, no spaces. On Instagram, at Thor Son of Dale on the TikTok. I'll post some stuff eventually. At TCR, at TC Rochester Act for Twitter. That is TC Rochester ACT. You can man, I gotta cut these down. You can also find me on YouTube at Life of Thor, where I have Thor Watches the Mandalorian Season 1 up and ready for you to watch, as well as 23 interviews from Thor Talks 2. Spoiler alert, Thor Talks 2 is probably going to be going live soon. I just have to make sure that I align my Thor's days with Thor's Day meetings that I have sometimes. So I gotta kind of finesse that. Really quick, I misspoke. My bad. Backdraft is not the name of that show. That is a movie he was suggesting. He'll get the show title to us after the show, and we'll put it in the show notes. David, don't let me forget to give you the show notes this week.
Show notes. Got it.
Show notes. Write that down in your show notes, and I'll make sure not to show my notes to anyone else.
Yep.
Yes, David, where can everyone find the audio versions of these podcasts? Boy, you have editing to do this week.
We're good. So if you guys don't want to listen to this show live on Facebook and watch it with us, you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and our hosting site, Spreaker. It is just the MP3 file. You can go listen to it on there. Just our voices, not our dumb faces. So that's where you can go find us sometime during the week after the show is live on Facebook.
It's usually within 48 business hours. I'm sorry, 48 hours.
Business hour would be stretching it.
I gotta stop working. That is gonna do it for the 12th episode. We have a dirty dozen amount of episodes ready to go.
Yep.
This has been episode 12 of Lights, Thunder, Action. Have a safe weekend. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you, everyone.